It's time for another anniversary video. This time it's on Mary Poppins. I know I'm very late on the release date because I was working on a video last week, just getting caught up on this movie. So, as you know, about 2 months ago, I did a video on top 10 movies I missed out during my childhood, and Mary Poppins was one of them, making it the number one, surprisingly. At the end of the video, I said I was going to do a single video on Mary Poppins for the 60th anniversary, and today, it's finally happening. And no worries you guys, it's not going to be a full-on analysis unlike last week, but I will talk about the legacy like I always do. So, let's get ready for the review of Disney's magnum opus, Mary Poppins. Let's start from the beginning, as you don't know the story. Two children, Jane and Michael, who are not very good at doing what they're told because the father is at work and the mother is out doing women's rights. They requested a nanny, but Mr. Banks hates the idea and wants someone that's better than a nanny. And while he ripped up the letter and whisked up to the clouds, Mary Poppins arrives at the house. She's going to be doing all the fun and games and giving them treats and all that stuff. But besides being strict and stern, she's even very mysterious with the magical things, to a point where the kids don't always know what to think of it. And while the story is hard to guess for some, it's actually pretty simple, which honestly I find it a great story. But yeah, Mary Poppins has so many great things to talk about. I'll save the songs and the characters for later, but let's get into the sets, the effects, and the atmosphere. The sets are fantastic. Again, like I said before, this is shot in a studio. I like they use London background painting. It's so warm and cozy. Speaking of that, I like that chimney scene where the sunset rises. Yeah, the atmosphere in the movie is unbelievable. The special effects is also great. You have effects that blend in human characters with the animation. I know it's not the first time they used it. Song in the South did that, but still looks impressive overall. I even like the effects where the characters are floating while on the ceiling. I like to know how they stay up there. The movie has cool special effects overall. Now let's get into the characters. I'll start off with the one and only Mary Poppins. First off, great casting. There were others that were casted before, but Julie Andrews got the role and she did hit it out of the park. Yeah, she does have the charming, pretty moments and even a nice voice. But what sets it apart of she is strict and she is just so hard to figure it out. I love the way she constantly plays people against themselves and they're never aware that it's going on. They always think that they came to the conclusion themselves when everything is actually going exactly to how she planned. Like Mary convincing Mr. Banks to take the children to the bank. Mr. Banks is another great character. He is a stick in the mud, but you can see that he's really trying hard, and you see that when he actually does want to bring his kids closer. Plus, he wants to be excited about his work. And while Mrs. Banks appears briefly throughout it, she is a good wife and a mother trying to live up to her husband's desire to only associate with the best people. Jane and Michael are very good kids, learning and having fun with Poppins throughout the movie. Even Michael almost wanting to give tuppence to the old lady, but his father wants to save it, so he wants to have a bank account. Then you have Dick Van Dyke as Bert, and yeah, everyone makes fun of the accent. But taking that aside, he still had a very good performance. Look how much energy and dancing he's doing. I even like that he always has a different job, but Bert is just so happy with life. Dick Van Dyke did great as Bert. I mean, yeah, the accent is distracting. That's the only thing I have to get used to it throughout the movie. But yeah, love the characters in the movie. Now, let's get into the songs. And yeah, it's a musical. This one has so many memorable songs and man, they are very catchy. Spoonful of Sugar Helps the Medicine Go Down, Jolly Holiday, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, dang that one is long, Chim Chimmery, the list goes on and on. They're just so catchy. But there is one song that is hands down my favorite song in the whole movie, and that is Feed the Birds. That song is so powerful and yet it's so simple. When I listen to it every time Julie Andrews sings, it's just oozing with orchestrated melancholy music. That doesn't mean it's my favorite song, but it's easily in my top 10 favorite songs. This is Walt Disney's favorite song and I can definitely see why. And no shock that the songs are made by the Sherman Brothers and their songs always hit it out of the park. But yeah, The movie has so many memorable moments and touching moments and moments that you never want to end, like the Step in Time song. The way Bert and the Chimney Sweepers dance throughout that sequence, I'm like, man, I don't want it to stop, and I wanted to end it on a perfect note. Thankfully, it allows to calm down after the singing and dancing. After that, when Mr. Banks returns back home, it makes a lot better, at least for me. The ending scene is where Mr. Banks is walking to his job, and he knows he's going to lose it. There's no song and no dialogue. It's just him walking down the dark, empty roads. Plus, the music they use during the scenes, and especially the atmosphere, you can definitely feel the atmosphere coming through on the screen. I know this may not be some people's favorite scene in the movie, but for me, this has to be. It's my favorite scene throughout the whole movie. As far as favorite scene altogether, well, no, it's not even close. But this is a very perfect scene. Even the ending where Mary Poppins exits and Mr. Banks is flying a kite with his children, I'm just like, gosh, it makes me want to bring back to being a little kid again. And like I said, this is the one movie I really should have watched as a kid, even more than Star Wars. But yeah, wow, I talked highly praise about this movie. Is there any criticism in the movie other than the accent? Well, the only thing is the scene where they're playing and having fun and they go on a bit too long and it becomes a bit unfocused. That's the only one I can think I wouldn't like, but the kids just want to stay in the entertaining worlds, which is fine by me. If kids can't follow the bank talk part, then I could now as an adult. Now with that review done, let's get into the legacy. Mary Poppins has re-released in theaters about 2 or 3 times, which would later be on home media. Mary Poppins has been praised by critics all throughout 60 years, with some considering Walt Disney's crowning achievement. The movie has gotten 13 nominations, dang that's a lot, and won 5 awards. Besides Best Original Song for Chim Chimery, Julie Andrews won for Best Actress. That's a great accomplishment. It got only 2 American Film Institute lists, and even got a stage musical. Then in 2018, Disney did a sequel, Mary Poppins Returns, in which I watched it years ago, and yeah, it's a complete downgrade to the first Mary Poppins movie. But yeah, the legacy of Mary Poppins is going strong as of today. But yeah, Mary Poppins is a wonderful flick. I can totally understand why it's Walt Disney's crowning achievement. In fact, this is one of the biggest ones before he passed away in 1966. And while there were live-action Disney films before and after, but Mary Poppins started it all, though the Pirates of the Caribbean series is the most popular. I'm actually glad I watched it for the first time at age 17 back then. I still stand by that this is the best live-action Disney film on my list. As far as my favorite, it's not even close. Holes is my favorite live-action Disney film, but Mary Poppins is more better for how wonderful the film is. I would have died to watch it as a kid, but for an adult, it was definitely worth the wait. That is all for the review of Mary Poppins. Happy 60th anniversary. Next video will be coming later this month, and I will see you all in the next one.